Jaylon, how would you describe how you guys feel about losing yesterday?
How do I describe? Man, I ain't gonna lie. It's almost. I mean, it's really nothing new. I would say as far as the feeling goes, it just kind of keeps just progressing. I mean, every week, of course, is a new opportunity to try to get that feeling out of our system. But I mean, quite frankly, it hasn't really changed clearly since Washington. It just is new reasons, new things to be kind of upset about. But I mean, honestly, at this point, it's just like, man, we just gotta find a way to figure it out. Cause I mean, shoot, I know that a lot of guys prepare, compete the right way. It's just hasn't fallen in our favor really. I mean, we were talking on defense, just really trying to figure out some things that we can do better. Because I mean, we got guys that give a damn. We got guys. I mean, it's heavy, but I mean, at the end of the day, we all trying to figure out ways for everybody to perform better individually, so we can find ways to win the game.
You mentioned since Washington, Jalen, and the storyline nationally is that the Hail Mary broke this team. And
Hmm.
that's what people who aren't close to it are saying. We've been trying to figure it out. It's what we talk about during the show. Like, do you think that Hail Mary and the end of that game, did that have an effect, or did what happened the week after have an effect more so than just one loss?
No, because I mean, of course, it definitely took a lot out of us in that moment, but none of what I would say happened in that Washington game carried over into the Cardinals. I know first and foremost the defense we didn't perform to our level of expectation by any mean. Especially rushing, just giving up. I think it was over 200 yards, remembering correctly. So I mean that had nothing to do with no damn Washington. That was just us not being where we're supposed to be and finishing plays how we know that we could and normally do. But I mean, just honestly, just trying to figure out a way to get some confidence. I think, and too, like the biggest thing with that is having confidence and energy. You got to execute. So I mean, for the whole entire team, I mean, I think it's just about execution. If we can execute, it'll drive that energy, that confidence, and then we can kind of try to figure out the momentum. But it takes a moment to get momentum when we haven't had too many moments where it's okay, we can carry this on. So we just got to really just honestly figure it out. Everybody got to. I can't say that part. Everybody got to figure out a way to do their job a lot better.
So all right. So not from that game. How about the week that followed when there was a lot of noise. Some called it outside noise. Some called it inside noise. Whatever. And then like that was a bumpy ride. Is there any effect of that in terms of the coaches, the relationship with you guys and the coaches? Because not gonna lie, Jalen, the thing seems broken, and we're kind of like trying to
Right, no doubt.
figure out.
I can see that. No doubt.
Yeah, right. So we're trying to. Why is it broken? How did it get broken? You know.
Right. I can't say, of course, being on the inside, I can't say necessarily that it's broken. I think for me, one thing that even like I tell people all the time, like I'm not one to overhype things and try to say, oh yeah, well, we looking like this. I feel like for me, and one thing that I feel like never changed is learning how to win. And I think again, the last three games have really shown that I don't feel like we quite know how to win. And I feel like even the games that we did win, quite frankly, for me, it was like those weren't games to like push our, I would say, will to know how to win. I mean, they were pretty much easy games, I would say. But I feel like just for the tougher games, teams that are well schemed, well coached, to have athletes put together. I mean, I feel like those are the games that challenge us the most, where we have to really truly learn how to win top to bottom, capitalize off of points, stop the run, establish our run game. I mean, create explosive, not allow explosives. I mean, kind of just all of those games, and in some of the bigger games, I feel like that's when we got to show up better. And I feel like we haven't done that really so far this year. Especially being able to win on the road. I mean, it's we in order to be a playoff team, in order to be a contending team, you got to win on the road, and we clearly haven't done that. And then of course snapping our streak at home to quite honestly the Patriots, who had no business being on the same field as us. I mean, it's just uncharacteristic for who we know we are and what we want to be. But I mean, again, that just comes with not just have, I would say, not having a killer mentality of just putting guys away. 'Cause, I mean, that team shouldn't, that score should have been flipped and even more. So I mean, that's just truly, I feel like, on everybody involved. We just got to learn how to dominate and win games.
Why were the Patriots so successful yesterday?
Because they have momentum. So you have 9 damn sacks. I know that's a lot of momentum in itself. That's a lot to be hype about. I know every time their defense exited the field, I mean, they were lit. So I mean, just kind of that momentum, it's easy for their offense to come onto the field with a little more momentum, and things like that. I mean, they made way more plays than we made as far as the team goes. I mean, our special teams, I would say, definitely outplayed them. But I mean, as far as just the momentum, the change goes, I mean, I don't think we had sudden change pretty well. I mean, I think we had a turnover and didn't get any points off of it. That stuff like that hurts. Giving up an explosion, giving up points before the half, just little things like that. I mean, at the end of the day, too, for us, I think they had one touchdown on a block and go, which I mean, on the goal line is extremely difficult. So I mean, can't really look at that, but I think too we just kind of gave up too many explosives. I would say on defense, but I mean overall it was a weird game. They definitely have way more momentum, and they made more plays, which gave them that momentum.
I was honestly surprised, Jaylon, at the success that they had on offense against you guys because, it seemed like, and I know that this is from someone who doesn't play the game, but it seemed like what they were doing was pretty simple. And I've seen you guys exploit teams like that are maybe don't have Pro Bowl personnel and are doing simple stuff. Why was their offense able to succeed against you guys, even though it was only 19 points?
Honestly, I would just say we didn't execute on defense as a unit. I think we just have, not even we all got to do a better job at, I would say, just doing our job. And excuse me for that. We just got to have guys doing a better job, of just doing their individual assignment. I think everybody included, like especially when it comes to the run, I feel like it's really gap sound defense. So I feel like if there's one guy that's out of his gap or that's in his gap at one moment and then gets out of it, and then that's kind of where the creasings have happened. That's where I would say a lot of like plays slip up. And then I feel like really in the past, I think they only had maybe 4 or 5 explosive passes. Everything else outside of that was really shorter check down completions. But I think more so just like in the run, especially with the Patriots, they were trying to establish the run best they can and then kind of have some plays off of the pass. But the pass wasn't, I would say, what hurt us. I think it was some of those runs that went for 7, 8 yards that should have went for negative or different things like that. But I feel like overall we just got to have all 11 guys really on one page, just doing their job, and whoever play it is to make on that specific play, just let him make that play and not everybody trying to make every play.
Jaylon Johnson is with us here on Spiegel and Holmes. Jaylon, I remember how happy you were, and like you were kind of gleaming a little bit when the offense was looking good and it was looking positive and things were moving in the right direction, and you hadn't had it. You really hadn't had it yet, and it's gotta hurt. Then I mean, the inverse of that, when you see the offense struggling like this, man, it's 34 drives since the bye, and there's 2 touchdowns. There's 11 3 and outs. It's 27 points over 3 games. It's crazy. It's gotta be difficult for you to experience when the offense is struggling like that.
Difficult, yeah. I mean, honestly, I feel like I'm used to that more so than I'm used to the offense putting up 30 damn points. So I mean, I think for me overall, honestly, it's just continue to just be myself, continue to be who I am, to do really my 111th. I mean, that's the first step. I can't start looking at everything else and getting too high or too low based on everything else that's going around me. I got to continue to do my job, do my part, continue to be a high level player, high level leader. So I mean, just honestly, just trying to not to ride the wave too much, but definitely being human. It does get, I would say, frustrating at times to kind of see it. But I mean, for me, honestly, it's not anything new or something that I haven't been through. I feel like if anything, I'm the most experienced guy with it in the building. So just trying to figure out how to keep guys really into it, raise the bar for the defense and the expectation that we have. So I mean, for us, I know we got to get back to playing at a very, very high level.
Do you comfort Caleb Do you try to talk to Caleb after a game like that?
Comfort? Nah, I mean, that don't sound like that ain't my job per se. But I mean, I would say as far as encouraging him throughout the game, showing that we're not giving up on him. I mean, like he comes off and he normally sits. I would say normally like by not even by in my seat. So he sits with his quarterback coach. So I always give him some love, whatever, before we go back onto the field. So I mean, that's I would say the most to the most extent that I give him, I would say some comfort, if that's the word that you want to use. But I mean, we're always trying to encourage him best way we can. I mean, him and the offense. I mean, if it's the O line coming off, I try to reach my hand out, give them some love. But I mean, I think that we all in it together, wins, losses, or whatever it may be. We still all in it together.
To go back to what you were saying about learning how to win, knowing how to win.
Right.
On the game day stuff is one thing. How much ownership can you guys take as far as getting yourself ready during the week, and how much does that play a role in knowing how to win?
Say it again so I can think about it.
Okay. During the week, like how much does the preparation aspect versus the game day aspect of knowing how to win, how do those two things match up?
I would say the type of preparation. Of course, everything practices, every team prepares a certain way. Um, I would say you have to know what to prepare for, and kind of what to expect when you're preparing. I would say, kind of really just going through it. So, like for myself, I can tell you my preparation for my individual. So it's kind of looking at the tape and seeing, okay, what could they have seen? So I know I can say for me, there was times where I wanted to have better footwork and stay on top more of my press cover. So I'll go and throughout that week I'm doing drills, I'm emphasizing and making sure it's okay. Maybe I need to change my alignment. Maybe I need to change the speed of my footwork and my press or different things like that. Kind of assessing myself and then applying those things. I think for a lot of the times it's like you'll see it and then it will be one of those things where it's like I'll go out there and backpedal. It's like, no, why backpedal when I need to be working on my press technique? So I think a lot of times, like for us, certain things that we do isn't what necessarily I would say we need to be working on. We can spend more time doing other things. But I mean, everybody has their, I would say, combination of sticking to what has gotten them to a certain point and then also kind of adjusting and figuring out what it is that we need to do. And I think even for the players, we need to vocalize more also too. It's like, okay, well, coach, I need more help with XYZ or whatever it is. Each position group, each person kind of has their own things that they feel like, hey, I need to do this better. And quite honestly speaking, there's some things that you can do and some things that you're not going to be able to do throughout the duration of a practice. So I mean, I feel like to a certain point it's up to the coaches, and then to another point it's up to that player to get those certain reps or get certain things or see certain looks that they want to get to be able to help them get over that hump to give them the best chance to execute on Sunday.
It stands to reason, Jaylon. Like, sometimes there's guys who work on a radio show. One person works harder than the other one. They work a little more careful. I'm not mentioning any names. Lawrence, I would never say that about you.
Yeah, because you'd be inaccurate.
Oh, damn. Look at that. Look at that. That's right. I wouldn't say it about Shane or Tanny, But, like, it's just people. So are there people on this team that some people work harder than others? It's just human nature, right?
Yeah, I would say that's not really even a question.
Yeah. It's just what happens. So how can you change that? What do you do to possibly change that if you can do anything as a player in that regard?
What can I do to possibly change that? Honestly, I've been fighting myself with this question for a long time. Because I've thought about it, I've been asked the question, and I think honestly for me, part of me says that there's nothing you can do, and a part of me says that there's something that you can do. Because I'm gonna use your office for example. I'm gonna use you and Lauren. So if you're used to getting extra or staying after your designated hours and you go over and you see how you can do something better and you work at it, you work at it, you work at it, and you start getting results. And then Lauren sees you and he still, just kind of lollygags, laughs, hey, all right, I'm gonna see you later, and then he leaves. And it's like you do that for a long time and you see somebody see you getting work, and it's like at some point you kind of like, hey, whatever you want to work out, yeah. And then some guys will leave, or he'll ask you, hey, what is it that you do? And you'll tell him, and then he doesn't do it. So it's like at a certain point, it's like you kind of think in your head, like maybe he just don't give a damn how I give a damn. And it's like at the end of the day, that's okay. But how can you can't necessarily change somebody's want to or hunger to do something to be uncomfortable. I mean, there's times where he can be, oh, well, I gotta pick my daughter from school. It's like, yeah, you got to pick your daughter from school, but sometimes, man, you got to ask somebody else to pick your daughter up from school so you can get this dang work. So our radio show can be the best that it can be. But I feel like it's oftentimes there's always a rhyme or reason or something better to do, and those opportunities are being taken, and then it's, oh well, we all want to win. No, we all don't want to win at the same level. Like you don't, we all don't want to grow this radio show at the same level because clearly there's not a level of application that has been going on. So I mean, it's you can tell somebody to do it. I mean, like they say, you can take the horse to the well, but you can't make him drink. At the end of the day, we got to have a lot of guys that are thirsty, and I feel like there's definitely an area of improvement for everybody, players, coaches. I mean, everybody involved is a level of hunger and thirst to be able to truly get the job done.
How hopeful are you that over these last 3 weeks, where these have kind of been heartbreaking losses
Mm-hmm.
for different reasons in all three of these games, that might spur people on to take a look at how they do their preparation as well as how much preparation they're doing?
Honestly, I don't know. Well, I mean, we'll have to see because I mean, the way that I am wired, the preparation doesn't change because we're 4-2 or we're 4-5. I mean, like I said, to me, it's like you are who you are. If you're going to prepare a certain way, because I mean, you can somebody can change for a week or change for 2 weeks, but it's like, are you going to change when it starts getting colder? And it's like now when we're practicing in 30 degrees and we stay out and catching extra passes, is your mind going to be strong enough to keep you there, or is it, nah, it's too cold, I'm gone. So I mean, I think it's just even things like that. I mean, it's only so long you or so much you can fake. After a certain point, you who you are is going to show up, and I feel like that's the part that I feel like goes into learning how to win. Is we got to have everybody with that mentality of wanting to be great individually. Because I mean, it's only so far. I mean, the team can be good, but it's only good as you have good players and players put in good situations, and those situations get executed. So I mean, it really just all goes together. I would say as far as a want to, and you can't fake a want to for too long.
See, Jaylon, that answer, those answers are so real and so relatable because we all have those kind of situations, and there's only so much you can do when the coworkers when it is that way because you feel like you can be responsible, but in the end, it's up to them. We know who you are because you got paid and came out hungrier and working even harder. And that's like we have seen the inverse. So you have proven what you have. Is that a light bulb that you were born and raised with? Like, I don't know, some guys might not have that light bulb moment like you obviously had somewhere along the way.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's one of those things where it's like for you guys, honestly speaking, it's like it looks like I'm hungry because I feel like now I'm getting talked to more. I'm getting asked certain questions, but it's like honestly, I've been doing what I've done as far as my extra work, my preparation, my film, my all of that. I've been doing that since my junior year in college. So I mean, for me, when I wasn't all pro and I wasn't Pro Bowl, when I mean, paid or no paid, contract, no contract, borderline and getting traded, not getting traded, it never changed for me. So I mean, my work and my process had nothing to do with the results. I mean, I feel like honestly speaking, God just gave me something different and the light switch flipped for me, I would say more so in high school, and also seeing my brother work the way that he worked and kind of just seeing the results of it made me hungry. And then of course I want to. I mean, I from the very beginning, I mean, people ask who do I want to play when I got to the NFL? Devontae Adams, the best receiver in the league. Like that's a want to, and it's like for me wanting to go against somebody like that, I had to win those matchups far before I got to him. So I mean, for me, it's like I've always tried to give myself the best opportunity to win and to succeed on Sunday. And if I come up short, I know it's not because of preparation. It's because I just messed up in that moment, and I can live with that. But I mean, for me, it has never been because of a contract. It's never been because of anything else. I mean, God just always has gave me that hunger and that thirst to want to go get it, and I've always went to go get it. And I mean, again, I was blessed enough and fortunate enough to get the contract, but that contract don't honestly mean a damn thing to me when it comes to my mentality of wanting to be great. Anytime somebody lines up in front of me, I want to be the best and embarrass him at the end of the day. So, I mean, that's never changed for me in my preparation.
Not that Jaylon needs fact checking, but I talked with Morgan Scalley and I talked with Sharice Shaw, his coaches at Utah when he was drafted.
Yeah.
And as he was talking, I went back through my notes.
That's awesome.
And the thing that both guys said was he wants to win. He wants, and he will do whatever it takes to try and win. So,
by my count,
just fact checking, Jaylon. Just trying to make sure that
But by my count, Lawrence, we only need like 15 more Jaylons. You know what I mean? Maybe 10? I don't know.
I think that Jaylon's impact, even maybe you don't need more of them, but you need more of Jaylon. And we'll see how much more he can impact the rest of the guys that are around him and bring all the people that are working super hard like he is along for the ride, too.
Absolutely.
Jaylon, you are an absolute delight, man. Thanks so much for being on the show as per usual, and we'll talk to you next week.
No doubt. You guys have a good one.